I'm going to go over the exact model that you can use that's one of the easiest ways to carve out profits on a consistent weekly basis. This is also the exact model that I look for only one time every single week that yields me over an 80% win rate with little to no daily bias. Also, I'm going to break down step by step one of the trades that I've taken live to my live trading community inside of my private mentorship that yielded me a little over $2,000 in only a couple minutes using this exact framework. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Arkhamtrades and leave a comment below. The model we're going to talk about is the TGIF, which is short for Thank God It's Friday. This model will specifically form one time a week on a Friday. When formed, this is where the marketplace will offer the easiest opportunity for either long or short with little to no daily bias. All you have to do is identify the criteria of what makes a TGIF, anticipate the TGIF in your marketplace, and then take a trade in the direction of that TGIF. But first, we need to understand how a weekly candlestick is formed. A weekly candlestick is formed when we have an open, low, high, and close, or an open, high, low, and close. Up here at the high and the close, and down here at the close and the low, that is the TGIF. It's when we create the top or create the low for the week to where we can get the easiest opportunities to go in the opposing direction to end the week off. So as you can see here, we opened up, dropped lower, created the high of the week. As we're creating the high of the week and then we see this drop lower, that is where we want to anticipate that TGIF for the easiest opportunities inside the marketplace. Same thing here. As we open up and reach higher and then followed by a strong push to the downside, as we create the low and then see this push to the upside to end the week off, that is where we will get the easiest opportunities for a TGIF. TGIF is a trend reversal pattern, specifically on the last day of the week, meaning if we've been going one direction all week, that Friday more often than not will reverse in the opposing direction as we end the week off. How do we trade this model specifically, you may ask? Well, if you're someone who trades multiple pairs or maybe just one pair, every Friday you want to come inside the marketplace and take notice of, have we been going higher or lower throughout the week? And if so, this will greatly assist you to formulating a bias to take the trade in the opposing direction. For example, if I was trading gold, Dow Jones, and Euro USD and it's Friday and I take notice that we have been going higher all week on gold, and coming into the marketplace opening, I see that we cannot break higher and instead we start to see a breaker structure to the downside, I can trust that we are going to go lower and my bias is going to be bearish that day because of the TGIF framework in any retracements inside of the marketplace inside of either a fair value gap or order block. I'd want to then capitalize for that trade in the opposing direction of the weekly range. Now let's talk about this live trade that we took on Friday, May 10th, 2024 with my live trading students that talks about this exact framework and how I was able to capitalize on this simple TGIF model. So how I'd established my bias coming into the marketplace here, we can clearly identify we've been going higher all week, so more likely than not today will be a TGIF setup, as well as we're inside of a weekly order block, meaning this is a high probability level of resistance the market will have a hard time trying to push past. So knowing that we're in a higher time frame level of resistance, as well as today is a TGIF, makes today a very high probability day to anticipate shorts inside the marketplace. And this is how you formulate a bias. You want to use every confluence that you know to your advantage to decide whether we would more likely go higher or more likely go lower. We identified the TGIF, we identified the weekly order block, and we have inefficiencies down here like this fair value gap, and even more down below us, which are levels that the marketplace can retrace down into following this Thursday push higher. So if I was formulating a bias coming to marketplace, it would more often be bearish. Down to the 15-minute time frame here, just before the 9:30 opening. So as the market opens here, I want to see if we can reach higher following that week higher. I don't want to see us continue to push higher. Instead, I want to see if we can break a structure to the downside to then take a retracement trade for that continuation lower, potentially down below these lows and even down below the Asia lows. Let's see what happens. We get a massive swoop to the upside. Let's see if we can drop lower here. We get that initial drop to the downside. And just like so, we get this body close here to the downside, creating this inversion fair value gap. So we have this inversion fair value gap here. I want to see if we can retrace into this inversion fair value gap for that continuation to the downside, first below these lows right here, and eventually down into the ace of session lows. We can clearly see that we have reached higher prices up above that weekly order block. We could not break above that weekly order block. Following that, we get this breaker shook to the downside, breaking below this bullish fair value gap, which is now turned into a resistance fair value gap through this inversion fair value gap. Plus today is a TGIF. All the more confluence is leaning towards lower prices. So I'm going to put my limit order here at the opening of this inversion fair value gap. Stop loss just above this high, targeting back below these ace of session lows for a 4-to-1 R. And let's see what happens. Price reaches up into that inversion fair value gap, and then we get that massive drop to the downside, reaching down into that ace of session lows, ending the day off with a over 4-to-1 R. Very simple, and this was the exact trade that I took live with my students that netted us a little over $2,000. And this is the exact framework that I look for every single Friday that yields me consistent gains. So that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys gained a lot of value. Make sure you guys subscribe, like this video, as well as comment what you guys want to see next. I'm Arkham. Be safe. I have released my private mentorship where I give daily lessons on technical analysis, fundamental analysis, psychology, risk management, as well as live trading and much more for your trading success. If that's something you guys wish to check out and want even more content and gems from me, not shared anywhere else, it will be the first link in the description or the first link in my Instagram bio if you wish to follow me on there as well, at Arkhamtrades. Thank you for watching.